Hello and welcome to our 2024 press conference of our Whoop UCI Mountain Bike World Series rounds. Here it's round 10 of our Whoop UCI Mountain Bike World Series, round 4 of our UCI Enduro and E-enduro World Cup, and round 2 of our XCM UCI Cross Country Marathon World Cup. We're here in the Haute-Savoie region in Combloux and Megève. Megève will host our round 2 of our XCM World Cup, and round 4 will be hosted in Combloux. We have some fantastic athletes lined up here today to talk to us. Let's get stuck right in. Okay, we have on the stage we have Alex Rudeau, Morgan Shah, Martin Mays, Laura Charles, Fabian Reibensteiner, Via Lusa, and Margot Moschetti. We're here in Combloux and Megève in the Haute-Savoie for the region's debut of the UCI Enduro and E-enduro World Cup and our XCM Marathon World Series. For our enduro riders, what are you guys expecting out of this weekend's race so far? Laura has the microphone.
For me, I'm happy to be here in France, to ride in France in front of some of my family. And it's going to be super technical and physical. And with the weather is not with us this weekend. So, yeah, it's going to be epic, but cool.
What can we add? I hope that we will have some spectators, some fun. And yes, as Laura said, it will be a hard day, really technical. It's really muddy actually. We did the training and yeah, it's muddy, it's slippery. But I think it can be fun also at some parts. So yeah, I can't wait to see tomorrow how it will change also, because tomorrow it will normally stay sunny. So yeah, can't wait.
And Vera, what does the cross-country marathon course look like in Megève?
It's also quite wet. It's rained every day except today. Luckily we still had some good weather there in the mornings. Yeah, it is quite wet. It's a lot of climbing. It's a lot of steep climbing and a lot of kilometers that we have to do on Saturday. So it's going to be a long and hard day out.
It's going to be a long day indeed. Fabian, a little bit of altitude. Is that climbing something you have to factor in, being at a slightly higher altitude here?
Yeah, for sure. The climbing will be a crucial point of the race. It will be a really tough day. So, yeah, you have to pace a little bit because it's a long race, and for sure in the end, who has the most energy left will be in front.
It looks like a spectacular day out there at XCM. Megève round here has over 5,000 meters in climbing and 100 kilometers, and our Enduro World Cup is about 36 kilometers, over 2,500 meters of vertical descent. So it looks quite physical out there. For our Enduro guys and E-enduro guys and girls, it's been a 2-week break from Leogang. Is it difficult to maintain momentum coming into racing here, or is it close enough that you can go back to back? Morgan?
Yeah, I think for me it's been actually really good to have a couple of weeks at home, and like 2 weeks is enough to like be to rest and then to like be training again like really efficiently. And I feel like yeah, it's been great for me because all the bike parks were opening, so I've been riding quite a lot, and it gave me good confidence coming here. So yeah, I'm excited for this round.
I was sick during those last 2 weeks, so for me it was mainly all about resting and get some energy coming for this race. But yeah, keen for the summer break after Switzerland and this one, to relax a little bit for a week and start training again to finish up the season, I guess.
And for our cross-country marathon series riders, you guys have had a 1-month break from Novo Mesto to here, but you've been racing a lot the last couple of weeks. How difficult is that to maintain form leading up to the last half of the season with such a big break between the World Series? Fabian?
Yeah, it was a tough month. We had the national championships and then also the Hero in Italy. So it was 2 hard races. I had also some up and downs, so I don't know what to expect for tomorrow, after tomorrow, but yeah, we will see.
We will see indeed. It's going to be great. The Enduro and E-enduro World Cup Series, we have 3 rounds left, and the racing in the women's, in the men's, in the e-bike, it's very, very tight. Coming into the last 3 races, what is your mindset coming into this? Are you attacking coming into the final 3 races? Is this the last race of a big block, or what is the mindset here? heading into the final few races of the season, Laura?
For me, it's a different situation because I don't have team this year, so I start my season really far, contrary to the other. But it's my choice, so it's okay. So for the moment, I feel good, but the season is still long, and it's a bit strange to have race all the 2 weeks. But I think it's okay if you live not so far, but for the guys that are living out of the Europe, I think for them it's pretty hard because they don't know if they have to go home and come back again. So I think for the European guys it's okay, but for the rest, I think it's hard.
I'll ask a direct question to you, Alex, as you has the microphone. You are just outside of the top 3 in the overall ranking, and time points are extremely tight and times are extremely tight. As we come into this French round here, and then we go to Switzerland and another favourite of yours, Ludenviel, what is it going to take for yourself to crack that top 3 overall coming into the sharp end of the season?
Yeah, for sure, it's a goal to finish in the top 3 and even more. So I'm attacking every time and will stay focused to each races. And yeah, just try to stay on podium at each races. And yeah, do my best, and that's it.
We're in France. It's a very deep heritage of racing and especially enduro. What does it mean for you as an up and coming? You're not an up and coming. You're the current, but as a French former national champion and one of the best French enduro riders, what does it mean to race at home in France in such a location like Combloux?
Hey, it's always a pleasure to wear the French sleeve in France. And yeah, as I told you, I hope we will have fun tomorrow for the race. And yeah, I will give my best as always, and even more when it's in France.
Perfect. Morgan, you and Alex are known as some flat pedal chargers. The tracks are very technical and slippery here. Flat pedals is probably not something we would see in the cross-country marathon series, but in enduro, you both are making the most of the skill set that you have. I do not have that skill set. Do the fresh and natural style trails here and the slippery conditions, do they favor that particular type of skill set and the flat pedal style of riding here?
Yeah, I think they do on this kind of track, and I could see today in practice I was putting my feet out quite a lot, so I was really happy to be on flat. And for me, anyway, it would be I can see myself riding these conditions on clips because I don't feel like I can ride it. So yeah, I think flats will be maybe a good advantage this week. We'll see tomorrow.
We will see. The racing in the women's field has been the closest and fiercely fought battles we may have ever seen in our elite women's field. What will it take to stand out and break through in that women's field to put in a dominant performance here?
Yeah, I think the start of the season has been so close, so tight. It's good. It's exciting to see so many riders who could like be on the podium or even win. And I think here you need to push for sure, like to be attacking, but you also need to be probably quite smart, like avoid crashing because it's a lot of roads that want to take you out. So yeah, I think stay like clean and fast.
That's a pretty good start. So not only is this round 4 of the UCI Enduro and E-enduro World Cups, but it's also round 2 of our XCM World Series taking place in Megève. Fabien, after a fantastic win in the season opener, you mentioned before you've had some health battles through the Dolomites and through these last couple of weeks. How difficult is that to maintain momentum coming into a big race like that, like this here in France, with the altitude, with the 5,000 meters and the 100 kilometers? What do you focus on after such a difficult build-up into this race?
Yeah, for sure it's really difficult because it's also a really different kind of race, because here we have a lot of climbing, long climbing and a long race. And Nove Mestre was a super fast course with short climbs, technical downhills, so it's a completely different race. So also to come here with the right momentum is not easy. To focus, keep the focus all the season is not easy, but we are used to it because it's a normal season for us. We have a lot of races always, so we have to go race by race and keep focused.
And you've claimed the Italian national championship jersey. Is this marathon series heading into the later part of the season in Lake Placid and the World Championships in Snowshoe? Is that a goal of yours, the World Championships later at the end of the year?
Yeah, for sure, because I think snowshoe will be fit really well to me, so I will try to be there in my best shape and so try something.
Fantastic, can't wait to see it. We do have a translator here for Margot. So Margot, we're going to ask Margot a question now. Margot has had an incredible story so far in her career, and on the way back from injury and trials and tribulations with sponsors and dipping in and dipping out. A former under-23 vice world champion and vice European champion. Now she's on the return, racing the cross-country marathon series and season, and on the return to hopefully a 2025 World Championship. Margot, the question to you is, you've just claimed the French National Championship, so how special is it to race in France as the French National Championship right now?
I speak French, sorry, but pour moi c'est vraiment spécial de courir ici en France, surtout parce que j'ai eu le maillot de championne de France la semaine dernière, donc c'est vrai que venir ici sur la MBRS à Megève, ça fait vraiment quelque chose de spécial avec le maillot de championne de France, donc c'est vrai que ça va me tenir à cœur d'essayer de performer, de faire à mon mieux. Et c'est vrai qu'ici, j'ai mes amis et je suis bien entourée, donc ça va être une course très dure et c'est peut-être ça qui fera la différence.
Vera, you two have started the season in great form. You took out the Dolomite race just a couple of weeks ago. How important is maintaining that form and that confidence coming into such a big race like this?
I think since Never Missed, I had a really good momentum, winning every race since then that I started. Also a lot of races with climbing that I always thought doesn't suit me so well, but I showed in the past 2 races that I can climb and that I'm up there with the best. So I'm excited to do this race with a lot of climbing. It will also be a really long race for the duration. So yeah, I think I can definitely keep up with the best, and then it will be exciting to see what I can pull off on Saturday.
The weather is going to be a factor, and you've mentioned how muddy the course is. How do you prepare and manage that? Do you have to be patient, or is it more about getting out in front early and controlling the race?
I think for us it will be all about pacing because it's such a long race. We start with a long climb, so everything will be pulled out pretty quickly already. I quite like the wet conditions. It is slippery and it is much more technically throughout that. I think that suits my riding style very well, and I can definitely make up some good time on the downhills that I might lose on the uphills. But yeah, I mean, luckily our race starts at the bottom and finishes at the bottom again, so you have to go up and down.
Fabian, it seems like 5,000 meters and 100 kilometers through the hills of Megève here. It seems like a pretty tall order in the mud. What do you have to do to prepare that is different to somewhere like Nove Mesto or the Dolomites last weekend?
Yeah, for sure you need a light setup, safe weight where you can, and but not on the wrong parts, because also the tires are really important. In these wet conditions you need a good tire with a good grip in the downhills, otherwise it's really difficult. And also in the uphills sometimes you need some grip, because also the steeps, the climb are steep and sometimes slippery, so yeah.
Laura, you've mentioned before how difficult the start of the season was for you for the E-enduro World Cup, and now we're back in France. We have a couple of French races coming up in Loudanvielle later in the year, and Aletsch Glacier in Switzerland. Now that you've had a couple of weeks under your belt, and we're well into the summer now, how are you feeling coming into this race, and does that fill you with confidence knowing that you've had more time on the bike to come into this race?
I start to be more confident. I start training good since 3 weeks now, but I'm happy to be in this situation because I feel less pressure, but it's also more logistic for me because I'm alone. I don't have mechanic, I don't have nothing. So but it's okay like this. But when I go home, I have to work. I'm a coach for the kids in a mountain bike at school. So I'm working during the week with the kids. So I try to find my balance between being a coach and a racer. Sometimes it's cool. Sometimes when I come back from race, I would like to stay home and rest and then start training again. But I can't because I have to restart directly to work. But yeah, it's okay like this. And yeah, I just need to try myself and yeah, do my own way. And yeah, maybe I need more time, but it's okay. Step by step, I will come back. I hope. I will give my best.
Is racing in France a confidence boost for you? Do you feel comfortable racing on this type of terrain?
Yeah, but this kind of terrain is not my favorite because yeah, I broke my two collarbone on the wet woods. So now when I saw the woods, I'm a bit afraid. But I need to just relax and find the flow. Not pushing an attack, I think for me is not the keys on this track, but just find the confidence, the flow, and yeah, trust myself, and that will be okay. I hope.
Martin, you're racing two classes this weekend. You raced the Enduro and the E-enduro in Leogang, which worked out pretty well for you. How do you feel coming into this race, knowing you'll get two chances at racing these conditions in two very different categories?
Yeah, I think, you know, racing e-bike is something that I've never done in the past till Leogang, and I just wanted to give it a try. And like you say, worked out pretty good, and I think on top of that, it was also so refreshing for me to kind of do a different discipline, because I've been racing normal enduro for 12 years since I'm 15 years old, you know. So it's, yeah, like I said, it was kind of refreshing for me in Leogang to do uphill stages, you know, something that I've never done in the past. It's a different format as well, with much less time in between the stages. So the liaison obviously go much faster with the engine and the battery. So yeah, it was super exciting for me to try something different, and why not more in the future.
Leogang obviously went well for you. You won the E-enduro World Cup race that day. This round you have a day off-ish, bit of practice on Saturday. Will that help the physical recovery here in Combloux, having a day off and then being able to race again as opposed to racing back-to-back?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, a day off in between the two race days always good to take. But I also believe that, you know, maybe you rely a little bit more on the engine for e-bike racing. So yes, it takes a lot of effort down the hill, because when you go over 25 km an hour, you have to push the engine as well as the heavier bike, etc. But at the same time, the liaison it's much easier to recover in between the stages. So it's not necessarily the same fitness or the same demand of energy. So yeah, I guess a day off would be good to take here in Combloux, but it also worked out back to back. Back in the days, we used to race 2 days in a row and practice 2 days before. So my body, I think, is quite ready and used to that kind of demand.
Now this year we've seen yourself have a resurgence of form and the fun, fast Martin Mays we're used to in years past. Is it refreshing trying different things like racing the E-enduro World Cup? Is that refreshing and part of your revitalized program and the return of Martin Mays to the podium?
I think so, yeah. Like I say, 12 years is a long, long time. And yeah, maybe my head, maybe my body is telling me to maybe make a switch in the future to maybe downhill or more E-EDR, who knows. But yeah, I think my future will look a little bit different from next year on.
Okay, back to our cross-country marathon crew. Vera, We're at round 2 of our 3-round series, but with the World Championships and the 3rd round coming later in the year, how important is this race here in Majiv to set up your preparations into the second half of the season?
I think for me, I have a little bit different approach to my year this year, I guess. So this will be my final, last big mountain bike marathon for now. And then I'll focus more on road racing since I'm going to the Olympic Games for the road race. And then after that, full focus on the Marathon World Champs and the final World Cup in America, which is only end of September. So it's a really long season, but I'm actually excited to have that switch in the middle of the season because it just keeps it fresh.
And how difficult is that to switch back and forth? That's a big commitment to go to the road for the Olympic Games after racing such a big day here in Majiv on Saturday.
I think my biggest concern is to just keep all my bones in one place on Saturday, and I think the fitness I have, and then I'll just need to work more on the punchy stuff for Olympics, and then I think I'm good to go.
Anyone else have any questions from the room?
I want to ask, Martin, you said you got sick previous. What are some things that you implement to stay as healthy as possible?
Let's say that my life has changed a lot since 3 years, having one kid and a second kid. And I think the kids brings a lot of virus back from school or the nursery. So this has been the major change. In the past, it used to be much better and much easier to stay fit and on top of your game, but now it's clearly quite a lot different because obviously you train, your body is a little bit weaker, but those kids bring back all the virus and bacteria. So actually it's a big change that I didn't really expect.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us for the press conference here today. I wish you all the very best of luck for the Enduro and the E-enduro World Cup and the Cross Country Marathon World Series on Saturday. Good luck, have fun, and we'll see you trackside.